What if I told you that the greatest threat to your intelligence isn't being dumb? It's being smart enough to convince yourself you're thinking when you're actually just following orders. Well, you've clicked on the right video. Because in this fast-paced world, your intelligence isn't protecting you, it's being weaponized against you. And the smarter you are, the easier it becomes to manipulate you without you even realizing it. I'm here to show you how to fight back. I've spent months researching everything from a German pastor who stood up to Hitler to cutting-edge neuroscience on how stupidity is manufactured. Think The Matrix meets cognitive psychology. By the end of this video, I'll show you how to recognize when you're being intellectually manipulated, how to build systems that protect your mental sovereignty, and how to develop what researchers call intellectual courage, the ability to think independently even when it costs you. I'll also reveal the daily practices that make stupidity almost impossible. So stay tuned. This might change how you see intelligence forever. Don't be someone who realizes too late they gave away their mental freedom. The time to reclaim it is now. So here's where it gets interesting, and honestly, a little terrifying. I used to think stupidity was simple. You know, the classic definition we all learned. Some people are just born smarter than others. IQ tests, grades, fancy degrees. That's how we measure intelligence, right? But then, I discovered something that completely shattered this comfortable assumption.
More harm is caused in this world by stupid, incompetent people than by evil people.
There was this German pastor named Dietrich Bonhoeffer who watched something impossible happen. He watched brilliant professors, distinguished doctors, accomplished intellectuals, people with PhDs and prestigious careers become Nazis. Not because they were evil masterminds, but because they were what he called stupid. Now, before you roll your eyes, this isn't about IQ. This is about something far more dangerous. Bonhoeffer realized that stupidity isn't about lacking intelligence. It's about surrendering your ability to think independently. It's about smart people choosing comfortable lies over uncomfortable truths. And here's the kicker. The smarter you are, the better you become at rationalizing stupid decisions.
What makes people stupid, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell it like it is their certainty that they have all the answers.
Think about it. How many times have you seen someone you know is intelligent defend something that's obviously wrong? How many times have you done it yourself? I know I have. Here's what this actually means for you. Every time you share that political post without fact-checking, every time you buy something because an algorithm told you to, every time you stay quiet when you should speak up, you're not being dumb. You're being what researchers now call functionally stupid. It's not about your brain capacity. It's about your moral courage, the willingness to think independently, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it costs you socially, even when everyone around you is saying you're wrong. The difference lies in this. Evil people know they're doing wrong. They can be argued with, exposed, even stopped. But stupid people, they're defenseless against reason. Facts literally fall on deaf ears. They become what Bonhoeffer called mindless tools. And that's what makes them more dangerous than malice. We're taught that intelligence is about having the right answers. But Bonhoeffer discovered it's about having the courage to ask uncomfortable questions. The system doesn't want you to think, it wants you to comply. This changed everything for me. Once you understand this, you'll start seeing functional stupidity everywhere. In your workplace, your social media feed, your political discussions. And that's when you become dangerous to the system. But this is just the foundation. We need to understand how this stupidity is actually manufactured, and that's where things get really interesting. Now here's where it gets really uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. When I first realized how this worked, I felt sick to my stomach, because I saw how easily I'd been manipulated without even knowing it. Most people think stupidity just happens. Like some people are naturally critical thinkers and others aren't. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Functional stupidity is manufactured. It's not an accident. It's a feature. Remember those Nazi professors we talked about? They didn't wake up one day and decide to stop thinking. They were systematically conditioned to surrender their intellectual courage. And the same thing is happening to you right now. Let me show you exactly how your intelligence is being weaponized against you. Number 1, information overload. Your brain literally can't process the thousands of pieces of information hitting you every day, so it takes shortcuts. What shortcuts? It relies on what feels familiar, what your friends share, what confirms what you already believe. Basically, it's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You'll grab whatever's closest. Number 2, algorithmic manipulation. Those social media feeds you scroll through, they're not showing you reality. They're showing you what keeps you engaged. And here's what actually happens. The algorithm learns that anger, fear, and outrage keep you clicking, so it feeds you more of what makes you stupid. Speaking of which, number 3, social pressure. This connects to what we learned about earlier, that stupidity is a social phenomenon. It's easier to go along with the crowd than to think independently. Your brain is literally wired to prioritize belonging over truth. But there's a problem with this approach. We treat this like it's just how things are. We accept that we're going to be manipulated, that we're going to make decisions based on emotion rather than reason. What if I told you there's a better way? What if instead of trying to become smarter, you built systems that made stupidity harder? Here's what this actually means for you. Every notification, every trending topic, every breaking news alert is potentially designed to bypass your critical thinking. The system doesn't want you to pause, reflect, or ask questions. It wants you to react. This is why I said earlier that once you see it, you can't unsee it. The manufacturing of stupidity isn't some conspiracy, it's just really good business. Stupid people are predictable. They buy things, they click things, they share things without thinking. Start noticing when you're about to react instead of respond. That pause, that's where your intellectual courage lives. But knowing the system is just the beginning. Now we need to learn how to fight back. So now that you can see the system, let's talk about how to beat it. And I'll be honest, this is where most people give up. Because thinking independently isn't just uncomfortable, it's actually painful. Your brain will fight you every step of the way. Most people think resistance means becoming some kind of paranoid conspiracy theorist who questions everything. But here's the thing nobody tells you. True intellectual courage isn't about being contrarian. It's about being willing to be wrong, to say I don't know, and to change your mind when the evidence changes. Remember those Nazi professors we talked about? They didn't fall into functional stupidity overnight. They gradually surrendered their intellectual courage, one comfortable compromise at a time. The good news? You can build it back the same way. Let me give you the exact system I use to protect my mental sovereignty. Number 1, the daily stupidity audit. Before you share anything, react to anything, or believe anything, ask yourself, am I thinking or just reacting? This connects to what we learned about earlier. That pause between stimulus and response is where your freedom lives. Number 2, seek intellectual friction. Most people avoid disagreement. But what if I told you that's exactly what makes you stupid? Actively expose yourself to people who disagree with you, not to argue, but to understand. Bonus points if you can actually change your mind about something. Speaking of which, number 3, practice saying I don't know. This changed everything for me. In our culture, admitting ignorance feels like failure. But here's what actually happens. When you normalize uncertainty, you stop filling gaps with comfortable lies. Now this is important. There are 3 ways this goes wrong. First, you become the dabbler who thinks they're immune but never actually practices. Second, you become the obsessive who sees manipulation everywhere and drives everyone crazy. Third, you become the settler who does the minimum and stops growing. But there's a problem with this approach if you try to do it alone. The system is designed to isolate you, to make you think you're the only one who sees the problems. What if I told you there's a better way? Find your tribe, people who reward critical thinking instead of punishing it. Build communities where intellectual humility is valued over being right. Here's what this actually means for you. Every day, you're choosing between comfort and truth, between fitting in and thinking clearly, between being a tool of the system and being genuinely free. This is why I said earlier that once you develop intellectual courage, you become dangerous to the system. You stop being predictable. You start asking uncomfortable questions. You refuse to surrender your mind for social acceptance. The truth is, you now have something most people will never have: the ability to think independently in a world designed to make you stupid. Use it wisely. Remember when I asked, what if the greatest threat to your intelligence wasn't being dumb? Well, now you know the answer. And more importantly, you know what to do about it. You've gone from being a potential tool of the system to someone who can't be easily manipulated. That's real transformation. Building intellectual courage, just like building physical courage, isn't about perfection or constant improvement, but rather about dedication to the process. As cliché as it might sound, success comes from loving the journey, not the destination. Be committed to the process. Make sure you stay consistent with your daily stupidity audit, seeking intellectual friction and practicing I don't know. These small acts of courage compound over time. Guys, practice recognizing manipulation, experience the discomfort of independent thought, and do the hard work of building intellectual humility. Practice, experience, and hard work with resilient effort beats talent alone. You have everything you need right now to start protecting your mental sovereignty. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want more content on developing intellectual courage and resisting manipulation in a world designed to make you stupid. Leave a thumbs up if you liked this video and it changed how you think about intelligence. See you next time. Peace.